When I first noticed my wife's boss leaning too close to her at the office party, I told myself it was harmless. He laughed a little too loudly at her jokes, touched her arm casually, and tried to keep her attention while others mingled. At first, I brushed it off, but as the night went on, it became obvious. He wasn't just being friendly, he was openly flirting. My wife looked uncomfortable, but instead of stopping, he grew bolder. I stood there quietly, watching from across the room, giving her space to handle it. But the more I watched, the angrier I became. He complimented her dress, whispered something in her ear that made her shift away, and still wouldn't stop. My wife's polite smile didn't hide the fact that she wanted out of the conversation. That's when I decided I couldn't just let it slide. Later that evening, I walked over, putting my arm around my wife's shoulder in a way that made my presence clear. He looked at me, smirked, and said, "You've got a charming wife." His words dripped with arrogance, like he thought he could say whatever he wanted without consequences. I just smiled back, masking the storm building inside me. On the drive home, my wife admitted how uncomfortable he made her feel. She had been trying to keep things professional, but his behavior was becoming too obvious to ignore. That was all I needed to hear. I promised her I would take care of it, my way. The next morning, I began putting my plan into motion. I knew he valued his reputation more than anything. A man like him thrived on authority and respect in the workplace. If I wanted revenge, I had to strike at the image he carefully built. I gathered proof. I asked a couple of his other employees, discreetly, about his behavior. To no surprise, I learned he had a history of crossing lines with female staff. It wasn't just my wife. Others had quietly endured his flirting to protect their jobs. That fueled my determination. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about stopping a predator. With careful timing, I recorded his behavior at the next company gathering. I caught him leaning too close again, saying things no boss should say to an employee, and ignoring clear signs of discomfort. The evidence was undeniable. I had what I needed. Instead of confronting him directly, I went to the company's board of directors. I presented the evidence along with statements from those willing to come forward. It didn't take long for them to realize the damage he could cause if they stayed silent. His arrogance had finally caught up with him. The fallout was swift. Within weeks, my wife's boss was asked to resign for misconduct. He left in disgrace, his once powerful reputation shattered. People whispered about what happened, but nobody outside the boardroom knew who had really pulled the strings. My wife was relieved. She thanked me, though I told her it was never about revenge alone. It was about protecting her dignity and ensuring no one else went through what she had. For me, the satisfaction came from knowing I had taken him down without ever raising my voice or sinking to his level. Our marriage grew stronger through the ordeal. She realized I wasn't just her husband, I was her protector, someone who would never allow anyone to cross the line with her. For me, seeing the relief on her face was worth everything. As for her ex-boss, last I heard, no company wanted to hire him again. He had been exposed, his arrogance stripped away. And every time I think about how he used to smirk, I can't help but smile now, because in the end, I got my revenge, and I did it in a way he never saw coming.